So welcome to this session. I'm very excited to announce this ABAP on cloud training with all of you, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Thanks for making this possible. In this session, we will go ahead and discuss about the motivation behind the ABAP on cloud. We will also talk about the concept of new RESTful application programming model with SAP ABAP. So as you can see on my screen, the agendas of this demo session would be motivation, having ABAP on the cloud, and what are all, as an ABAP developer, you could expect a change in terms of your programming paradigm, and what kind of solutions you can contribute towards when you learn ABAP on cloud or this new programming model, so-called the RESTful application programming model. We will talk about the scenarios, possible scenarios, which can be achieved with the help of this, and also discuss how the ABAP on cloud platform is evolving, followed by a quick demo into the system connecting to our ABAP on cloud system with SAP Cloud Platform Cloud Foundry trial account, and creating a very simple end-to-end demo application in just 30 minutes. So let's get started with the motivation of ABAP on cloud. ABAP is evolving. So are you also evolving according to it? So most of you are born ABAPers like me. So many of you have spent your considerable amount of career time in the ABAP programming language, and all the time there was a question in our mind that with these new technologies coming pretty fast in the market, which includes UI5, Fiori, Gateway, HANA, what is the future for me as an ABAP developer? Do I still have left some breathe to work on ABAP programming except the OData? Is there something else I can also contribute towards to this new feature? Everybody's talking about cloud solutions. What is the role for an ABAP developer there into a cloud-based solution application? So let's discuss the motivation behind having ABAP in the cloud, and as well as this new programming paradigm. So most of our solutions are right now available which are on business suite. So most of our companies, most of our solutions, wherever you're working, you would see that your solutions are based out of ECC or business suite. Already many of the companies have started moving to S/4HANA pretty fast, and this is by far the situation that still some of these companies are on the business suite. Now the latest ERP solution in the market is so-called is S/4HANA. So if we really look at the latest solution in the market is our S/4HANA solution. Now S/4HANA is available in two flavors, so-called the S/4HANA, which is the on-premise flavor, and then we have S/4HANA Cloud, which is the cloud solution, cloud-based solution. So what is the main difference? As we have already discussed many times, this question about S/4HANA Cloud and S/4HANA on-premise. On-premise is where your company own the hardware, they own the entire infrastructure, they got to set up the servers, the networking, the hardware, the RAM, the CPU, and then the typical installation needs to take place in this hardware. The networking needs to be scheduled. Everything needs to be done by your own company. You need to bear the cost of hardware, networking, software, operating system, the software licenses. Everything is owned by your company. On the other side, in the cloud, the hardware and all the specs, all the infrastructure aspects are actually considered by the vendor who is providing you the solution, and you consume only the solution where you consume it as a software, as a service. So the infrastructure and the platform is owned by the vendor. In this case, SAP would be the vendor for S/4HANA Cloud, and you will just open the browser as if like you open Gmail to access the Google Mail services. Similarly, you open, let's say, a Fiori application and a Launchpad to access create sales order, purchase order, all these transactions in the browser, basically the Fiori applications. So that's the main difference. So now the new solutions are these two. But let's talk about the underlying technology behind these solutions. So if you really look at the shift to in the industry, in the ERP solution space, is moving to S4. But what is the technology behind this? So if you look at your conventional three-tier architecture, your presentation, your middleware, and your your database. In the ECC, the behind the scene technology is your, of course, SAP NetWeaver, which is the latest version is 7.5, and then we also have support packs in NetWeaver 7.1, 7.51, 5.2, 5.3, and so on. So this is the behind the scene platform on which these solutions are based on. And that's where in the NetWeaver we have 4 different layers: process integration, people integration, information integration, and application platform. And that's where you have your ABAP layer, which is more or less the backbone of the solution, which is responsible for executing your ABAP programs. And in terms of database, what you can probably do is use any DB more or less, or you can also use so-called in-memory database from SAP called HANA. So this is the technology, so-called your ABAP on HANA technology, or your ABAP on any DB technology, which is the backbone or the solution foundation for the business suite. However, on the other side now, if you observe, uh, this layer, as well as along with the business suite, SAP have by far informed us that uh, the solution maintenance, or the maintenance of the NetWeaver ABAP layer, would be up to 2025. So right after 2025, this solution will retire, and most of you will be technically be on S4 HANA. So what does it mean for you as a ABAP developer or a programmer? The definitely the question, or the meaning here is, for you, the programming model will also probably go through a change, because now we are no more having this NetWeaver based 7.5 layer. Rather, we have something called new ABAP layer. So that's the backbone. So we call it as ABAP layer, and the default implementation is all based on top of SAP HANA. So there is no other database. The default is HANA all the time, because it gives you a lot of capabilities in terms of in-memory computation, code to data paradigm, code push down, and a lot of these benefits comes out of the box from SAP HANA. So SAP would like to leverage best out of their database, and that's where they have so-called their ABAP layer. So this will also be the backbone for indeed even any S4HANA cloud solution. So be it S4HANA or S4HANA cloud, you would observe that this will be the default technical layer, or the backbone of the technology. In terms of technology, be the backbone of the S4HANA solution. So those who are working on S4HANA already on premise, you would have attended my ABAP on HANA training. You know that the concepts of CDS views, EMDP, SQL scripting, all of that comes from this ABAP layer actually. But in this ABAP layer also, if you observe, there are innovations happening. Innovations in terms of how do you build application. The another main advantage of S4 HANA, there are 3 main advantages. The first advantage is utilizing the SAP HANA for its computation power by doing the code to data paradigm. The second main advantage is the solution is based out of a standardized approach. The implementation time is less. You can implement it faster. It's based out of something called best practices. And then the third main advantage is its flavors. It's available both on cloud as well as on-premise flavor. And then the default experience for the end user is SAP Fiori UX. So that's the default experience. So these are all some core advantages of S4. So which means now for you as an ABAP developer, already you started adapting yourself to this new technology, be it UI5, Fiori, ABAP on HANA. You would also want to now interested to learn what is coming new. So what will be the future of an ABAP programming? So that's the main motivation for us to understand this ABAP layer, and then understand what exactly for you as an ABAP player or ABAP consultant, how can you code in this new paradigm shift? So basically they have also introduced something called RESTful Application Programming Model, which is going to prevail for a long time by now. And now this is where you would have to understand and build the application. So basically this RESTful application programming model is not just applicable for you if you are on cloud, but also it is indeed applicable for you even you are working on SAP S4 HANA. So which version of S4 HANA on-premise, you can start consuming it right from 1909 on-premise. You can start using it, OP version. You can start using this new RESTful application programming model, which is already out in September 2019. And here it was 1908. So that's another difference between S4HANA, S4HANA Cloud. S4HANA Cloud is faster innovation cycles. Every 3 months, every quarter, you have a new release. And on the other side here, the release for S1 on-premise is yearly release. However, you have support packs in S4 on-premise, which is again quarterly. So what SAP does, they believe on cloud first strategy. They have already announced themselves as a cloud company. Yeah. So this is what SAP have already done it. So now if you observe that, you would get innovation much faster with respect to cloud. Together with that, if you want to understand this new programming model, SAP is now also offering a trial for this ABAP layer for you right away in their innovation platform, so-called SAP Cloud Platform. So we all aware at some point SAP Cloud Platform, which has been the central point for all the integration as well as all the development. Some of you would have also came back to me, Anubhav, could you please explain us what is the way to improve or develop something on SAP Cloud Platform? Because you don't want to kind of go inside the S4HANA or and there you want to develop a thing which could probably disturb your upgrades. So many a times what you used to do in typical ECCs, you used to implement bodies, your Z implementation, or maybe an append include. And when a new upgrade happens, or when a new patch is applied, or when a release upgrade happens, what happens is your upgrade gets failed because of your custom enhancements. So that's where the main idea of having SAP Cloud Platform is to build your custom solutions in SAP Cloud Platform, so that you can keep this core stable. So this is also another concept called side-by-side extension. That's where it will also help you. So SAP Cloud Platform as a technology platform offers variety of runtimes like Java, Node.js, and you can also bring your own build packs. Those who are working on HANA, there is also HANA native development where you use XSO data, XSJS, and then now it's also started supporting ABAP. So we'll see the journey in a minute, how the ABAP journey has been by far in the cloud. So now if you really observe, ABAP has come as one of the important runtime which is now supported by SAP Cloud Platform. And that's where your ABAP programming layer is also available for you to practice. And of course, the implementation is all based on SAP HANA. So this is shipped now as a platform as a service. So what is platform as a service? Where you can go ahead and build a solution of your own, and then you can deploy. This platform will support you the runtime, necessary runtime. So you all know that if you want to run a C program, you cannot do that in a notepad. You probably have to install C compiler. If you want to run a Java program, you may have to install Java runtime environment, the so-called JRE. Similarly, if you want to run an ABAP program, you need the layer, the ABAP layer, which can understand your code, which can compile your code, check for syntax errors, and then it can execute your code. So that runtime environment is now available as part of Cloud Platform, and this is what we are calling platform as a service. So SAP Cloud Platform is a platform as a service. We will discuss more in detail. Don't worry if you are not comfortable with SAP Cloud Platform, you are hearing it for the first time. Don't panic about it. When we will be getting into the real classes for this course, we will discuss introduction on SAP Cloud Platform. What is it all about? What is Cloud Foundry? What is Neo? How to set up your account? All of that we will cover from scratch. So this is a platform as a service where now ABAP layer is available for you to try out basic ABAP programming skills. Of course, now there are restrictions, because when you go to the cloud, you're going little more vulnerable than right there. So there are restrictions, some things which you freely cannot do it the way you can do it in ECC or S4 on-premise, because here you do not have access to SAP GUI. All right, you cannot access the system via SAP GUI. So the default tool with which we will access and connect to the system is ABAP development tools in Eclipse. Now, many of you who come from maybe maybe typical ECC right away, straight away into this course, you have no idea what is ADT. So that is again something which we will also discuss in our session number 2 when we will start. But today's idea is to understand the motivation of the solution and what it means for you as an ABAP developer when it comes to coding in the cloud. So our main goal will be to understand this ABAP, a new ABAP layer into the cloud platform, which is also the layer behind the scene for the latest solutions, so-called S4HANA and S4HANA on S4HANA cloud. So that is one real motivation for you as an ABAP developer to understand how can you move your custom code to the new solutions. How can you also build side-by-side extensions, and also you can build new different new application, new dimension application using ABAP RESTful Programming Language. So that these are all some key motivations for you as an ABAP developer to get into ABAP on cloud. Yet again, I would repeat that not just for the cloud, but even you are working on SAP S4HANA on-premise solution, this will also be beneficial, because here you are not just learning the ABAP layer in the cloud, but you're also learning this so-called RESTful application programming model, which is the new way of programming. Now, many of you who have attended my ABAP on HANA course, you would have seen that we did something called CDS BOPF scenario. So that was kind of an intermediate solution to create transactional apps, but now that is also getting replaced with this RESTful application programming model into the ABAP layer, new ABAP layer. So let us go ahead and now also discuss the key benefits here for the motivation. Maybe we will take the questions towards the end. I would request you to please have a note of your questions, and maybe then we have a dedicated round of questions on these slides towards the end. Yeah, makes sense. So now let's understand the key benefits and for this motivation. So as you can see, the new solutions are all based on Fiori user experience. So the ABAP RESTful programming model allows you by default to embrace the difference, embrace the Fiori user experience. So you can build transactional Fiori apps which are responsive. Responsive, I mean they can adapt themselves to the desktop, mobile, and tablet. Leverage the HANA, leverage the capability of in-memory computing engine by achieving code to data paradigm. The another benefit is a robust programming language, where you are safer because you're consuming only the resources which are allowed to consume, or resources which are released, so-called released objects by SAP. Also, you're exposing the API, the data in the cloud publicly, so which means you want to be more robust in terms of security. So that's what is the third main motivation of this new programming model. And then cloud ready extension. So as some of you are already working on SAP S4HANA Cloud, you would have observed that you do not have SAP GUI access. I'm talking about cloud, S4HANA Cloud, those who are using. There is no SAP GUI access. Majority of you right now probably on S4HANA on-premise, where you still have SAP GUI access. But those who are on S4HANA Cloud, there is no GUI access there. So there is no free hand with you that you can go ahead and probably do some, ABAP coding, and it's very limited in terms of usage. So you just have a browser where you can do a little bit of in-app extensions, but not extensive development of custom objects. So what is the way forward for you to build your own solutions or custom transactions, or maybe extend the standard solutions? So that's where you have also the ABAP as preferred runtime now available in cloud platform to build your side-by-side extension using SAP ABAP layer. So that's another main motivation for you to adapt to this new programming model. Now, in terms of as a developer, what is that you can do with this ABAP in cloud? So in terms of developer, if you really look at, there are possibly two category of solutions you can work on. So what kind of solutions you can work on or you can develop? So one is will be developing completely new applications, or you can also extend your SAP existing solution, S4HANA Cloud, to be very sure, even S4HANA or S4HANA Cloud. So if you want to, probably do not want to disturb your existing core, I mean the ERP solution, so-called S4, you don't want to disturb that. You want to build the solution outside the S4 environment, yet remains integrated with S4. Yeah. So these are all the two main type of applications or the programming which you can do with the help of cloud platform ABAP programming model. And in terms of new application, again, you would say, Anubhav, there are two possible ways. One is I want to build everything from scratch. So be it your database table, be it your application programming, be it your classes, function module, everything you want to build it on your own. That's called greenfield implementation, which means there is nothing typically there. You want to build a table, you want to build a function module, a class, application program, OData service, Fiori app, everything on your own. That is what you will own it. That's your greenfield implementation, which means your land is empty. There is no crop out there. You want to seed the new fresh seeds into the sand, and then you want to grow that as a greenfield project. The another option is you already have application logic, you already have APIs, you already have CDS views, you have all these concepts already present. You want to leverage on top of it. Suppose you have thousands and lines of application custom code which is already been developed, some Z transactions which have been already developed. You want to leverage the application programming code which is already there, move that code to the cloud platform with ABAP layer, and then you want to leverage it, which is already there, and then build new solution which are Fiori based, utilizing the SAP HANA, and you want to build that. That's your brownfield approach, where you already have the application code available with you. So now there are special names for this greenfield or brownfield, which we technically name it as an ABAP developer. So when you already have the application code out there, which you have been developing over years, and you want to reuse that, this type of scenario is called unmanaged scenario. And when you do not have any or you maybe have a code, you don't want to use it, you want to build everything from scratch, from fresh, that's called a managed scenario. So we will learn both the managed and unmanaged scenario as part of our application development in this course, so that you can be perfect with both managed and unmanaged scenario. And also we will look at then how can you build a side-by-side extension using SAP Cloud Platform ABAP layer to the S4 HANA as well. So all these three main approaches will be covered as part of this course. You will understand that, including the new programming model, which is again beneficial for you whether you are there on the cloud or on the on-premise, doesn't matter, because even in the on-premise with 1909 release, most of you are also upgraded your on-premise solution. You can also start consuming this new programming paradigm in your 1909 on-premise solution, or if you're on cloud anyway, you already have it available from 1908 onwards, along with SAP Cloud Platform. So what was the journey by far? How did this ABAP on cloud evolve by far? When did the SAP announced it, and how did they really developing it, and since when can you start accessing it? So if you really look at the journey, by far this has been the journey with ABAP on cloud. In 2017, SAP has announced the ABAP on cloud. So basically they brought the ABAP runtime into the SAP Cloud Platform. That's where you can start actually executing ABAP programs into the cloud platform. Yet it was just a beta release for selected customers. Then in year 2018, around September last year, the SAP have announced a general availability of ABAP environment into the cloud platform, which means you can then go and buy a subscription of SAP Cloud Platform, and if you have some ABAP code, you can actually go ahead and execute that. So some of the POCs have been tried out by many of the partner companies. This was mainly available in the European data center, and that's where you could probably go ahead and try this out. Maybe very few of us has got a chance to try this out. Even not personally, myself did not. And then between 18 and 19, they have also come up with this ABAP RESTful Programming Model, which is what our backbone now, the way we program. So it's all about the way we program, the way we develop. So of course, it has a lot of influence by your existing concepts. So your existing concepts, which you would have learned in recent past couple of months, like CDS views, OData services, and all that stuff, that's not obsolete. that is still usable, that is still we will be definitely using, and that is again becomes the foundation for this RESTful application programming model. But there are new things, new concepts like behavior definition, behavior implementation, service binding, service implementation, and a lot of these new concepts have coming into picture, which we now need to understand and adapt to this new programming model. And then in September 2019, also there's a trial which is now offered into the cloud platform. So that's a really good news for all of us. Those who come from the ABAP background, we have a free trial available in SAP Cloud Platform Cloud Foundry environment, which means there is literally no server access I'm dependent on. If I want to practice these latest things, even my company is still on ECC, I can go ahead and develop some of these capabilities. I can practice, learn these capabilities well before even my company go for S4, or even they upgrade to the latest S4 release. I can simply go ahead and try out the SAP Cloud Platform trial offering out there available already in the cloud platform. So that will be our main agenda. So let's look at the demo. Are you ready with this new avatar of ABAP programming language? So what we will do today in this demo session, we will go ahead and create our very simple sales order table. Of course, not going to be as big as VBAC table, but I'm just going to create a very simple sales order table out there. And then we will see how can we build the create, update, delete functionality as a managed scenario, which means the complete source code for inserting, updating, deleting the data will be generated by this new application programming model. And then we will see how can we run a Fiori application which can do this capability of create, update, delete with this new custom table, custom sales order table, which we will be developing in the system. So we will be having getting some glimpse of the RESTful application programming model out there. So that's the new avatar of ABAP programming language. So are you ready for that?